Alright guys, we're going to get started here in a second. I'm just going to give everyone a minute to come in and get ready. Alright guys, we're going to get started here in a second. We're going to get started here in a second. I'm just going to give everyone a minute to come in and get ready. Alright guys, we're going to get started here in a second. We're going to get started here. Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So today I'm going to be talking about how I personally became consistently profitable, and hopefully you guys can use some of these things that I've used in the past to help yourself. Now the reason I say that is because what I did to become consistently profitable and profitable in general is, you know, it may work for me, but something else completely different may work a little bit better for you. And some of the things that I do may not be what you want to do. It may be a little too tedious, it may just not be for you. So just remember that everything that I did doesn't mean you have to do it to become profitable. That's just what I did. All right. So now that I got that out of the way, I have to say I'm not a registered for giving investment advice. This is just my personal opinion. Anything I talk about stocks or anything, that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to give you guys financial advice. So let's get into this. Let's start off. So when I was first starting out trading, I knew I wanted to be a day trader and I knew I wanted to make it my full-time job, but I didn't understand that when you're first starting out, you need to find a couple setups that you trade and only trade those setups. So for me personally, I found 3 setups and I only traded those setups. Okay? And if you don't know what a setup is, it's a certain way that the stock is setting up. So, we could have an ascending triangle, we could have a descending triangle where you short or an ascending triangle where you buy long and then sell. So that's just one. Or you could have one where the stock gaps down overnight and you end up shorting a spike in the morning. So these are all just, over time watching the market, you can learn these setups and you'll find them. So let me show you guys how I track these setups. I tracked them when I started off in Excel and I ended up moving to Evernote, but I'm going to show you guys in Excel just to show you. So these are some of the setups that I was tracking. As you can see, I have it set up pretty nicely. I have the date, the ticker name, the image, and comments. So I basically narrate everything that I see going on. So let's click on this image. I usually added a picture of the chart and my analysis. As you can see, I didn't cheap out on my work. I provided an analysis. I waited till the end of the day to screenshot the chart, and then I put it in here, added the comments. This goes down pretty far, and I have multiple pages of this. And then I started adding the strategy. So this one right here, this is just a setup that I tracked: short sale into daily resistance. This is a pretty popular one. You find a spot on the daily chart, like right here at 350, where it's gapping up, and you think, okay, I'm going to short into this spot around 350, and it hit it perfectly. So, this is the setup that I tracked: short sale into daily resistance. There it is again, right here, right here. There's a lot of these. You have the parabolic short, the gap fill reversal, short sale into daily resistance. So it just keeps going on. Then you have a 3 p.m. fade. But again, these are just my personal setups. You guys don't have to have these setups. Green to red here. You know, it's all about finding what works for you. But the constant here, the one thing that's staying constant is actually tracking the setup. So you need to have an Excel sheet or Evernote. See right here, I feel like this works a little bit better for me personally. I like Evernote. This was not too long ago. This is actually in September that I was tracking this. So, I got a little bit lazier now that I'm a little bit more consistently profitable. Um, I just lately I've been just adding the news and putting a picture of the chart and putting the setup name. But I used to get really deep into it, and I would add the date, an image of it, and comments, and I would narrate the chart inside the image as well. I'm kind of rambling here, so I'm going to move on. So basically, I personally found 3 setups that I liked. So one was the 3 p.m. fade, one was the short sale into daily resistance, and one was green to red. Those are my 3 setups. Now you may find 3 setups that you like better, ascending triangle, descending triangle, whatever. But the key there is to track those setups. And once you start tracking those setups, you'll start to notice and you'll start to understand how they work. You'll get a feel for it, and every time you see it, you get that confidence. And the key thing here is confidence. When you see these setups, you've seen it before. You go back in your files and you look and you see, okay, the probability of this doing what I want it to do is pretty likely. So, you have that confidence there, and in trading, one thing that you need is confidence. So it's very important to have. So, and again, going back to confidence, here we have, I eliminated my emotions. I eliminated my emotions in 2 ways. So the first way is what I just told you. I tracked the setups and I got confident, and I'd seen them over and over again, and I just knew, that the chances were high that it was going to do what I thought it was going to do. So that's where I got one form of confidence. And my second form of confidence was I got a side job. I had a couple side incomes, and my main income was not coming from trading. So I knew that all my trading money was fine. If I lost the whole account, whatever, I'd be okay. I'm not gonna be homeless. So I see a big problem with a lot of new traders, and they're putting their say they're 20, 21, and they have like $5,000 in their savings. They're putting all their $5,000 in a trade, and you are very nervous in that trade. You don't have a lot of confidence, and when all your money is in a trade, of course you're going to be freaking out. Of course, you're not going to make the right decision. You're going to make emotional decisions. So another thing you can do besides tracking trades is get a side job and have a little bit of more income coming in than just trading. You can't just rely on trading when you're first starting out. It's going to take years. So, get that money going from another income, and you'll have the confidence that you need to enter trades. You lose $500, well, you traded, and that's just the way it went. So if you're freaking out about it, though, you're going to be, it's not going to work. If you're very emotional with your money, it's not going to work. So you got to eliminate that emotion. So there's 2 ways you can do that. Now next, when you're tracking setups and you're trying to become consistently profitable, when we have those days where stock gaps up and it's the first day of the big run or the first day of the run or whatever, it's a lot more crowded and harder to trade than the previous days coming after. So, let's say we have a stock that runs on the first day, right? On a Monday, right? So it's going to be much harder to trade on the Monday versus the Tuesday or the Wednesday. So if you come back Tuesday or Wednesday after that Monday had a lot of volume and it was the first day that I was trading, the probability of you making money on that trade is going to be a lot higher. So on that Tuesday, you may have a gap down, and your chances of making money are going to be way higher. And you're going to have a little bit more range, and it's going to move a little bit more slowly because there's going to be less volume. So if you come back day 2 or day 3, you got a higher probability of making money. You track those setups, you're going to be good. Another thing I wanted to go over was TraderView. This tool is absolutely amazing. it's they actually offer a free plan, so I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's free. You can import 100 stock trades a month. It's really amazing. You get to track. You have a journal. You get to analyze very deeply. I mean, you get statistics that you would never even think to look into, and it's very easy to import your trades. You know, I use this still to this day, and I look at it at the end of every week. I'll import my trades on Friday, and I'll review my trades for about an hour or two, and it's very, very important to have this going. So I recommend everyone who's watching this, if you're not a member of TraderView, go sign up, start importing your trades, look at them at the end of every week. This is, besides tracking your trades, this is probably the biggest thing that I did to become consistently profitable. I was digging deep into these reports and looking at what they were telling me, and I was noticing things about my own trading that I would never have noticed. So, for example, I was making money from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and it'll say, you're making money from, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. But after 11 a.m., you don't do so well. So I noticed that after 11 a.m. I was doing terribly. So my fix to that was just to get up and leave after 11 a.m. and I would not trade. And I started to see my P&L go crazy at the end of the month because, I would make money and leave after 11 a.m. and that solved that problem. Another thing that I noticed was on Fridays I lost money. Just so happens that in this example picture, this person was losing money on Fridays too. So on Fridays now, personally, I just take it easy. I'll show up to the market, and if I see a setup that I'm willing to trade, I'll trade it. But I'm not going to force any trades on Friday, because I would give back some gains, try to go for a blowout on Friday and make some money for the weekend. But usually that's not the way to go. So I didn't come on Fridays, and I stopped trading after 11 a.m., and I saw my P&L go up a lot more. Another thing, you get to see, your largest gain, largest loss, all that kind of stuff, your average winning trade and your average losing trade. And the key thing here to see if you are a consistently profitable trader is you want your largest gain to be at least 3 times your largest loss. So let's say if I made $100 on my biggest winning trade, I'm gonna want that loss to be much less. I'm gonna be, if my biggest winning trade ever is $100, I want my largest losing trade at maximum to be $20. And that's still pushing it. So, and then your average winning trade and average losing trade. Definitely want this to be your average winning trade to be way higher than your average losing trade. That is where consistent profitability comes from. When I was looking at mine, when I first started, my average winning trade was it was probably like $250, and my average losing trade was like $600. It was pretty bad. So when I saw that, I was like, wow. If I don't fix this, I'm never gonna make it. So I stopped fighting my losers. When I was losing in a stock, I just, I would accept it. And a lot of that is ego. When you're trading and you're not willing to accept a loss, and you just keep blaming it on the market, or you blame it on bad luck, or you just gotta accept it and take the loss and learn from it. So I got my average winning trade way higher than my average losing trade now. And my largest gain is definitely way higher than my largest loss. You really don't want to have big losses. That is a very important part of trading. You stay away from big losses. You should never have a loss that blows up your account. You should never let it get that bad. And if you have, that's fine. Just from this point forward, don't let that happen. So I don't want to run my mouth too much, but just to go back to this a little bit, I'm gonna send you guys a copy of this right here, where you guys can put in your own stuff. So when you want to add the image from the chart and the day, you go to what I used was this app, Print Screen or Lightshot. Works well. You just add the picture, it gives you a link, and then you paste the link into Excel. Excuse me. And so then you just do a little bit of analysis on the stock, and you throw in. So if you don't know your strategies yet, that's fine. Just start analyzing stocks. So you may not know the strategies that you're looking for yet, but just every day when you go into the market, look and see, what stocks ran today, what stocks are moving. And you're going to add all of those into here, and you're just going to start noticing, which setups do you like, and then, one day you might start adding, short sale into daily resistance or green to red, first red day. These are all really interesting. I got a lot of my strategy names off of, people in the chat room. I'd ask them like, what do they look for? Or, I watched Tim Crotani's DVD, Trading Tickers. He had some really good ones in there. But, you can learn a lot from just being in the market and looking at stocks every day. Like I said, put these going through every day and just put these names in here and just narrate what you saw happen. And then add an image of the stock, and, if you have some technical analysis you want to do on it, put it in there. But I promise you guys, if you follow what I have written down here, if you track your setups and you find setups that you like, let's just start with 3, and you come to the market and you only trade those setups. Don't trade anything else. Everything else is just noise to you at that point. All you want to do is trade those setups that you found and you tracked. Okay? All you do is trade those setups. You eliminate your emotions by getting confident, by following those setups that you know, and that's where your confidence comes from. Also, you can eliminate emotions by getting steady flow of income from other areas. That's a really important one. If you can't do that, that's fine. Just take smaller position sizes. I was talking to one of the best traders I ever talked to. His name is Bao. He's Modern Rock, if you guys know him on Twitter. And he told me something that helped me so much. Basically, he said, when you're learning these new setups, you need to start scaling in, just trade them, okay? Once you start noticing the setups, just start trading them, but use really small size. Like use like 100 shares, okay? So if you're using 100 shares on a $1 stock, you're spending about $1,000 to trade the stock. So when you trade with 100 shares, you have no emotions in it. It's like, a 1 10-cent move is $10 for you. So it's, it's not really that big of a deal. So when you fluctuate small amounts of money, you don't really have that much emotion in it. And then you start to get confident and you scale up to 200 shares, and you scale up to 500 shares, you scale up to 1,000. And before you know it, trading 10,000 shares on a stock that that you're comfortable with and a setup that you've traded before. So, it's really, guys, it's just time. A lot of people want this stock trading thing, and they see all the money being flashed by like these gurus like Tim Sykes, but and they're going to tell you that if you join my program, you're going to become consistently profitable, within 6 months. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. It took me like 3 years just to understand. I don't know if I'm a slow learner or whatever, but it took me personally 3 years just to understand what was going on in the market. And then after that, I had to track setups, and it was just, it's a long road. And if you think that you're going to get it within a couple of weeks or a month or even a year, you'll learn that you're not going to get it. And if you do somehow, good for you. But most likely you're not going to get it that quick. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. This is just a quick little webinar. Just want to share some stuff with you guys that I think is really important to becoming consistently profitable. And I don't want to beat the bush any more than I already have. So thanks for joining, guys. All these links will be provided at the end of the video. I'll paste it in the chat. I'll share this sheet right here with you. and then you go to Evernote, sign up there, or you can use Excel, or you can use both. TraderVue, definitely sign up for TraderVue. And also, actually, I wanted to go over one more thing. So I was reading this article right here. This is from Epica Capital, a really great trader. Basically, he has a a trading plan for himself every day. So at 9:30 to 10 a.m. he talks about how he trades then, and he goes through the entire day about how he trades. And I want you guys to create something for yourself. Create a little trading schedule. So when you wake up, what do you do when you wake up in the morning when you first get to the desk? Are you looking at the gappers? What are you doing? He has it here. He gets up at 6:30 in the morning. He reads all the news. And he talks about how he analyzes each stock, and he makes a plan. So I'm going to provide this link in there. I want you guys to give this a read as well. This is a really good article. I read this when I first started trading, and it seriously helped me a ton. So I hope you guys learned something today. If you have any questions, feel free to message me in the chat. Just let me know. And all right, hope you guys